Welcome to the May 20th, 2026 Umatilla County Commissioners meeting. Let's do our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to remind everyone that this meeting is a public meeting. It is being recorded and be attended virtually. Anyone that has public comments on anything that is not on the agenda, in a few minutes we'll give you an opportunity. We ask you to hold those comments to 3 minutes, and we'll move from there. At this time, awards, recognitions, and correspondence. Commissioner Timmons?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Schaefer?
No.
I do. I think we have a guest here from the Marine Certified Deputies, and I got a note from Captain Rob or Lieutenant Rob. Lieutenant Roberts, that our Umatilla County Sheriff's Office Marine Division was certified. And is there someone here to speak to that? Yeah, come on up, please. Give us your name and your address. That would be great. Yeah.
My name is Travis McMasters. I'm a senior Marine deputy with the Sheriff's Office for Umatilla County. Address?
4700.
4700.
So we were recognized this year, or over our past year, fiscal year, with the State Marine Board for a Service of Excellence. That's in regards to more than doubling our amount of Marine contacts over the last year. So stay busy on the water, contacts with as many people as we can, trying to keep people safe and mitigating issues before we have to do responses.
Very, very congratulations to you and the whole crew, for sure. Great honor to have. I saw a picture of the plaque. Very nice plaque. Very nice. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm not going to let you get off that easy, though. So, I mean, where exactly do you patrol? I mean, Mackay and...
So I spend quite a bit of time on the water. So we'll start small and go big. We do Mackay Reservoir, as long as we can get a boat on it. Eventually we can. We do the North Fork of the John Bay. We float that with a cataract that we spent about 80 hours this spring trying to clear trees off of it so people can raft it and drift it. It's an ongoing project, lots of trees. Then we patrol from Wallula Junction down to County line. Usually we go further. It's pretty standard for me to go as far as working. So in tomorrow, I'll even contacting the public, ensuring safety and security requirements are met.
And hull inspections, you guys do those? Do hull inspections?
Yes, we do hull inspections. So when people buy new boats or bring a boat from another state that's not a licensed or titled state, we do inspections for them there. Just standard equipment inspections is mostly what we do, which is making sure people have all their safety that's required.
A vest for everybody on the board and...
Yeah. So not an inboard engine, but just a standard like outboard fishing boat. You need to have a life jacket that's properly fitted for every person on board. Type 4 throwable, little square seat cushion. Everybody likes to use. Fire extinguisher that's not expired, registration, boater safety card, sound producing device, whether it's an air horn, whistle, or a horn of the boat.
What's the biggest violation you see on the water?
The number one issue I deal with would be the number one is stickers, really.
Oh, really?
Ordinance is incredibly specific on how you're supposed to display your numbers. Your validation stickers, and then next, as far as safety related, the number one issue would be fire extinguishers. Many of them are outdated, expired.
Guilty.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
All right.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Timothy?
Thank you. Mm-mm.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Do we have minutes from previous meeting?
No, sure.
Thank you. Any additions to the agenda? Yeah, commissioners?
Nope.
Public input. This is the time for public input. Anybody wish to talk to the commissioners on anything that is not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on. Business items. Let's start with the City of Umatilla Urban Renewal. Look at that, Dave. You ended up right at the top of the agenda.
Commissioners, thanks for having us here today. So we are here to talk about the City of Umatilla's urban renewal plans. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick moment of recognition and appreciation. Commissioner Doran did attend our ribbon cutting for the Umatilla Business Center. So thank you, Commissioner, and thank you to all of you for your support on that project.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Yeah. We are here today and we have our consultant Elaine Howard with us. We've provided a PowerPoint, so we'll let her go over an overview of our urban renewal plans. And then Dave and I are available for any questions that the commissioners may have.
Good morning, I'm Elaine Howard from Portland. I've worked on urban renewal in your county many times, so I've worked in Hamilton, Umatilla. And I'll give you an update on the urban renewal plans. There are two of them, two separate plans that we're reviewing this morning. There's a specific process outlined in ORS 457 for the approval of an urban renewal plan. It must first go to the urban renewal agency of the locality for their review. It then gets sent out to all of the different taxing districts, so you receive packets on the two separate urban renewal plans. And then we are required to do a briefing to the county commission. Your role is really just to ask questions and for you to have the opportunity to ask questions directly. You don't have to take any action on an urban renewal plan proposed by a municipality. The Planning Commission, the Umatilla, City of Umatilla Planning Commission will review the two plans for conformance with their comprehensive plans. That's scheduled for May 26th. There will be a citywide notice of a city council hearing. That hearing is scheduled for June 2nd for review of a non-emergency ordinance. And the city council is scheduled to vote on that ordinance on July 21st. So the proposal from the City of Umatilla are two separate urban renewal areas, each with a maximum indebtedness of $77,898,370. You'll wonder why both of those have the exact same amount. And that is because the statute has a formula for the total amount of maximum indebtedness that you may have in an urban renewal area based on assessed value of the city. So these two urban renewal areas meet the total amount allowed by statute. I'll go through the East Umatilla plan first. This is the proposed boundary of the plan. An urban renewal area must be contiguous, but it can be made contiguous through cherry stems, including roads and rights of way. So this is the layout of the east area. Acreage of this area is actually a little bit lower than this. It's about 370 acres. We took out a couple of acres over the last couple of weeks. The assessed value of the area is about $5.2 million. The projected time frame is 18 years. Most urban renewal plans on which I've worked, the time frame is usually around 30 years. So this is a much shorter urban renewal plan to be able to meet that maximum indebtedness. So the time frame is not a specified restriction in an urban renewal plan. Is just our estimate of the financial capacity and the point at which that plan will reach that maximum indebtedness. The projections for the financial analysis of the plan are based on the Amazon PDX 63 coming on the property tax rolls in fiscal year 2034-35, and that the east area would receive 60% of that value. This financial analysis is broken out into years, in 5-year increments. So the net TIF means the total amount of money projected to provide any debt service, so principal and interest payments on that maximum indebtedness of approximately $77,900,000. So the net TIF, so the amount collected from the different taxing districts, is projected to be $94.6 million. The capacity is saying over time, you will get that money over time, and over time inflation will provide, will cause an impact on the actual amount of projects that you're able to do. So if you look at that $77.9 million, which is a projection over that 18-year time frame, you actually will have approximately $59.8 million to spend. The city is wanting to spend a large portion of that in the early years of the plan to be able to undertake specific priority projects. And because the Amazon plant is coming online, it allows them the ability to do that. Most urban renewal areas start out really slowly, and you can't actually do projects until much later in the time frame of the area. So it shows in the first 5 years, about $31.7 million worth of projects could be undertaken. Years 6 through 10, you're still paying off or working on that $31.7 million. And then years 11 through 15, you potentially could have another bond sale for about $20.1 million. And then in the final years, have about $7.8 million left to spend on projects. So this shows the capacity over time. So that capacity, the funding for projects actually happens a little further out in the urban renewal area. The amount of assessed value goes way up at the beginning and then levels off as you are required to do revenue sharing within this urban renewal plan. The project list is a much larger in terms of monetary value list than the capacity of the area. So it is understood that not all of these projects could be fully funded with urban renewal financing, but a portion of these projects could be funded. So the anticipation is the city will look for other income sources, federal grants, state grants, matching private development to undertake some of these projects. So the phase 1 of projects is 2027, 2032. You can see the majority of those projects are to be transportation projects within the community. Utility projects is a much smaller amount, and then parks and recreation projects, again, take up a large amount of that funding. Any funding past phase 1 is all funding, again, that as they move forward in their annual budgeting process, the city's urban renewal agency will be able to allocate their funds towards specific projects. A lot of times we do these urban renewal plans and we say what will be funded, but the reality is these funds are allocated based on other factors also, like if you're able to get another grant and you need a matching source for that grant, if a certain development is going to happen and you need that road to be completed for that development to happen. So you look at those budgets on an annual basis and decide where best to allocate the funding. The priority projects for the east area are Columbia Boulevard from Willamette to US 730, Columbia Boulevard US 730 intersection improvements, Columbia Boulevard reconstruction, Willamette to Deschutes, Golf course, industrial wastewater diversion and pond expansion, Hash Park Sports Complex, Willamette Street reconstruction, and a new golf course club. The impacts on the taxing districts happen annually. You do not lose any money that you're getting now. What you don't get is a division of taxes off of any increase in value within the area. And that includes when the Amazon project comes on the property tax rolls, you don't get the impact of that increase. That impact goes to the Urban Renewal Agency. So you can see that that big impact doesn't start until 2035. And in 2035, it's the largest annual impact. And again, that's not taking away money. That's not getting any of that money from the properties coming off of the property tax abatements. You can see then in the next years, that impact becomes pretty steady, and that's because there is a revenue sharing formula within the statute that requires that once you meet a certain threshold, and you meet that in 2035, every year thereafter, you have to share with all of the other property taxing districts a portion of that increased assessed value.
It's basically the same thing we saw in that chart before with,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So the impact in 2035 to the general county is 3.1 million. Next year it goes down to 1.9, and then it goes down to 1.884 until the final year, and the final year is lower because it's projected that the city wouldn't need as much because they're actually reaching the maximum indebtedness in that year. This is just more of the general taxing districts. I put it on a couple of slides because if I didn't, you would never be able to read it. Next
Thank
slide.
you.
The schools are funded a little differently, so urban renewal is not a direct impact on the state school fund. It is an indirect impact. The state school fund in Oregon, it allocates money on a per pupil basis to the school districts in Oregon. And whether or not you have urban renewal within your community, that amount that's allocated for a per pupil amount does not change. So the state then allocates other funding sources to be able to reach that per pupil amount. So the impact of the education districts is on the state school fund. The state legislature has the ability to backfill that fund with other resources, and they make that decision when they set those budgets. Are there any questions about the East Urban Renewal area before we move to the west?
There's a lot more cherry stems in the east than there are in the west.
Yes. So this is the west urban renewal boundary, and again, you can see a couple of cherry stems or places where we put in roads and right-of-way because there's a projected potential project on that, and it has to be within the urban renewal area to be able to do that project. The acreage in this area is a little over 473 acres. Assessed value at this point is about 4.9 million. This time frame is a little longer. It's 20 years, and that's because it's taking 40% of the value of the Amazon, where the other area is taking 60%. So it's getting a little less value every year. But the maximum indebtedness is the same, $77,898,307.
That's just PDX 63, right? There's,
Yes.
yeah.
Again, this is based on PDX 63 coming on the tax rolls in fiscal year 2034-35, and the west area is projected to receive 40% of that. The maximum indebtedness here is the same. It will take a little longer for this area to go, so that net TIF line, so the total amount that will be taken to pay off any debt and interest on debt, is a little higher for this urban renewal area at $110 million. And you can again see in the initial years of the area, the urban renewal agency is hoping to take on substantial projects. So this financial analysis is a little different. That bump in 2035 is not as high as that bump on the other. These are the projected projects, and again, the total amount here is much larger than the maximum indebtedness. Again, with the hope that they will be able to leverage other funds within the area. And again, these projects are not, a lot of times an urban renewal area might have private development projects or improving buildings projects. These are infrastructure projects, transportation, utilities, park and recreation infrastructure. The initial projects for the west area are the Umatilla Park Marina replacement, 7th Street reconstruction, B Street to River Road, 8th Street reconstruction, D Street to L Street, Power Line Road Phase 2, Roundabout Power Line Road improvements, Canal Bridge replacement, and Umatilla Park Marina replacement. Here you can see the impacts of this area, and again, those impacts don't begin to be larger impacts until that Amazon project comes on the property tax in 2035. And again, for the schools, that's an indirect impact on them, and the impact is on the state school fund. That's for the regular school district and the SD. The community colleges have their own state fund, but it is a similar kind of formulaic fund, but it's separate from the state school fund. It's a community college fund. There are state limitations on the amount of urban renewal that can be in any city. Again, we reduced that east area after we had sent you this PowerPoint, so that's a little smaller. It's about 370 acres. So the percent of acreage allowed is 25%. This is at 24.7. So they will not be able to put any new area in unless they take area out of one of these two areas. On the assessed value, it's the same 25% limitation, but you can see that the percent is much lower. It's at only 1%. So the next slides, we've done the first two. We have the Planning Commission next week. We have the City Council notice and the hearing June 2nd, and then the City Council is scheduled to vote on July 21st. Again, Dave and Melissa are here if you have any specific questions.
It was very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions?
Very thorough.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Dave and your whole team.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Great
you.
presentation.
All righty, thank you. Updated EPMG grant agreement. You want to do that, Nick?
Yep.
Save me.
Sage is out of the office, so I'm standing in on this one. There's a typo on there. It's the EPMG grant. This came before the board previously on April 1st. There was a typo in that grant agreement that listed the amount as essentially double that 79,000 figure. It was the match plus the actual amount of grant. This one has the correct amount.
Thanks, Nick. What's the wishes of the board?
I'd move approval of the grant 25-529 with the Oregon Department of Emergency Management.
Second.
Been a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion passed. Thanks. Next item is sheriff's purchase in-car camera. Have a link. You have a link?
Yeah, do the control shift R.
From the sheriff's office here today. These are for some M500 in-car video cameras from Motorola. Sourcewell contract. Now $47,620.
All right. Wishes of the board.
I move approval.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nick, you don't sit down yet. Next item is sheriff's purchase AEDs.
Again, this is another purchase. It looks like there were two quotes done on this one. Documentation of the cardio partners one is attached. It's offset board for approval amount of $20,594.70.
Okay. Wishes of the board?
Yeah, I move to approve purchase of 15 AFDs Cardio Partners for a cost of $20,594.70.
Good, second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda,
Mass gathering.
mass gathering. These aren't in order, are they?
They should have been.
The mass gathering. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tierney Signati, Community Development. Before you today is a request from the Planning Division to approve a zoning permit for a one-time outdoor boxing event called Dust and Gloves. The applicant and property owner, Julian Perez, requests to hold the event on Saturday, July 25th from 9:30 a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. He explained the fighters will start checking in and getting medical exams by a doctor around 10 a.m. and the actual fights will kick off at 3 p.m. He's expecting a turnout of about 100 to 200 people throughout the day, including participants and spectators. The property is 1.81 acres in size and zone EFU. It's located at 52692 Burris Lane at the intersection of Burris Lane and Prunedale Road, about 1.5 miles northwest of the city limits of Milton Freewater. All the structures used for the event will be temporary and will be taken down after it ends. The site plan includes a boxing ring, spectator seating, VIP and judges tables, food, vendors, and portable restrooms. The applicant's also working with the OLTC to get the proper permits for alcohol. For parking, they have designated a main area on the east side of the property, and the applicant has received permission from the neighbor to the south to use tax lot 1400, which is 52696 Burris Lane, for overflow parking. The planning divisions received the application and reviewed it, and now it's before you today for your consideration, and the applicant's also here if you have any questions.
I've got a couple, but you guys go ahead. Commissioner Timmons, any questions?
Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
My
Questions of
biggest
me
question,
or of the applicant?
probably both. Did you receive a letter from the neighbor, a copy of the letter from the neighbor giving permission?
I did not receive a copy of the neighbor. I can, Mr. Perez can speak on that if you'd like
Okay.
him to. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Julian Perez,
Good morning.
How's it going?
Thanks for being here. What's your address?
52692 Burris Lane.
Perfect, thank you.
And so I did get permission from the neighbor on the south. He has about like 3 acres and it's just an open field, so we could use that as parking.
Do you have a letter from him that we can put in this package?
No, but I can get one.
Okay. I think that'd be important.
Yeah,
We've done these before and kind of ended up in issues. So
okay.
that would be great if you could get that letter
I'll go
put
ahead
in.
and do that.
And then, is he got enough, he'll let you use all 3 acres?
Yeah,
Okay. Have you talked to the sheriff's office or the city police?
no,
Are you in the city limits or the
in the,
county?
it's in the county.
He's outside the city limits and every growth area. About a-
Oh, okay. Looks like a great event. I think it's going to be really important that you talk to the sheriff's department and let them know you're going to have the event. I'm sure Tierney's gone over all of that with you.
Yeah.
before.
I do have a question. So Cayuse Vineyards is neighboring you.
Yeah,
Have you talked to him?
no, I have not.
Okay. I really hesitate on this because of the area that you're at. I really think that you need to contact the neighbors around you, even the ones will be to the west of you. But I think, is Cayuse to the north of you?
Yeah, it's still in North.
Yeah, I hesitate. And it sounds like a wonderful event. It really does. But I really think you need to get permission. I mean, written permission, especially from them.
Okay,
Yeah.
When was the event?
When is this?
July 25th.
Oh, so you,
There's time to get
is
there.
that plenty of time to get
Yeah, plenty of
additional
time.
letters, Tierney?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's wishes that you request these letters of acknowledgement to come back? And
Yes.
Mr. Perez bring those back to Tierney, and Tierney can bring the form back to us.
Okay.
Can you be clear on exactly who those letters need?
I think Commissioner Timmons was talking about the contiguous owners,
Any contiguous?
any
ownership?
contiguous
Mhm.
owners. Yeah.
Anyone abutting the property?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
To me, I think the most important one is the guy's property to the south, I think it was, which you're
On
gonna
the
do the
parking,
parking.
yeah.
That to me is the most important one.
I think that I would certainly get a written approval from Cayuse Vineyards, even if their property is not abutting. I think it probably is, but we need to make sure that we're covered there.
And
My understanding is a letter from Cayuse Vineyards, a letter from or somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
and make sure that the sheriff's been noticed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Sheriff's office.
That, and that you don't require any commissioners to step in the ring, so.
Right. I don't even want to judge.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like a great event. I hope you good luck on it. And it sounds like you're doing it the right way and you're going through the right process.
We'll work on this together then, and shall we just present it at the next meeting?
If that works,
That'd be great.
that would be,
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
coming in.
Yeah, thank
do. I
and
really
talking to us.
absolutely.
Motion by the board to postpone.
Okay.
If that's how you want to do that.
I think we want a motion to postpone until we have complete document.
So moved.
Second.
And a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thanks. And good point, Nick. I'm glad you brought that. Next item, solid waste franchise renewals. This one is for Pendleton Sanitary Services, Inc. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning,
Favorite
Commissioners.
subject.
Bob Mulder, Community Development Director. Before you is a request from Pendleton Sanitary Services, which has a solid waste franchise here in Umatilla County. They are seeking a 3% increase to their current rates, which would, if approved, would go into effect July 1st, 2026. On April 14th, the Solid Waste Advisory Committee met and reviewed the proposal and have recommended approval by the Board of Commissioners. After that meeting, our office posted a 14-day public notice, and we did not receive any remonstrances during that public comment period, which ended May 13th. Unfortunately, the franchise rep couldn't be here today due to a conflict, and so I'm happy to try and answer any questions. If I'm not able to do that, we may have to continue it to a different meeting. My understanding of the request, however, is the 3% is comparable to what is the consumer price index for this same period. And also the reason for the 3% is to keep the rates consistent with what the rest of their service area is, which includes the city of Pendleton, which approved a similar rate request.
So the solid waste advisory committee is saying yes to the 3% there, and nobody complained in the public comment period?
That's correct. We did not receive any written remonstrances.
I'm going to open a can of worms. Okay.
No.
The only question I have is, on all of these services, there's, on this list, there's not a walk-in fee or a drive-in fee. Is there one in there?
That's a great question, and I did not see one on their fee schedule
Okay,
as well.
all right.
As you know, each franchise has their own unique fee schedule.
Yep.
And I'm going off of what was provided to me by the.
Perfect, Bob. Thank you very much.
I would move to approve the 3% rate increase consistent with the application.
Well, I have a question.
Well, seconded.
Second it. We can
Second it,
discuss.
question.
Okay.
Okay. I have, a couple things to say. One, I found out that traditional verbiage for that is called a lane fee. It's not called a walk-up fee or whatever we were told the other day, lane fee. And in different parts of the county, those have been incorporated since the mid-1990s.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they're called a lane fee. And so that was interesting information. The other question I have was, and doing a comparison, we're not straight across the county as far as the costs, because we have one that's almost double for a rate than we have for Pendleton. Pendleton is almost double in some areas than what the proposed rate is for the west side of the county.
Yeah.
So.
And you're correct in that, Commissioner. As I mentioned, every franchise has a different rate sheet, and at different points in time, one franchise may have asked for a larger increase to help cover costs of new equipment and things like that. And so I think in general, they're mostly pretty similar, but none of them, franchise to franchise, have the same
Well,
rates.
in the same breath, and I think Commissioner Timmons brought up something. Yeah, like Pendleton Sanitary does not have a walk-in fee or a drive-in fee. They probably build those expenses in so that they don't charge. They charge more, but don't charge individually.
Right, I do see on their
Oh, I
sheet,
see what you're
they
saying.
charge a mileage outside city limits fee that has been in there. And I don't believe I saw something like that on
Right.
the other franchise that we were reviewing.
But what I didn't understand about that fee is, what does it cover? Does it cover the mileage out, the mileage round trip? I don't,
And I don't
is
know
that
the
just
answer to
per, the way I figured that out is, is it a $265 per month per customer? Is that how you read that?
I don't know the answer to that. I can't speak on it. I hate to mischaracterize it.
That's a good question.
I guess that's just the way I assumed it. Because this is strictly for the unincorporated area outside the city limit.
Yeah.
But outside the city limits,
I
we
don't know
double
if that
charge in there.
265, it would be charged one direction or both
Right.
directions.
or is it just a monthly fee?
I took that as a monthly fee, but I could be wrong.
Well, that wouldn't make any sense though.
I would say it's probably
Per mile?
per mile.
Why? But it's already built into their fee because they're out. This is for everything outside the city limit. So why would you charge an extra fee for outside the city limits? That's what this franchise agreement covers.
So I don't see how they could do it per mile, because if it's per mile, the rates would be different for everybody along the route.
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
I could see them.
I think it's just a one-time fee every month. You don't live in.
Do we want to hold off on this until we get an explanation?
Yeah.
Certainly that's your decision. I apologize, I can't.
No,
answer
you're
all those
fine.
Questions, and the franchise rep did have a conflict.
No, I get it.
Yeah. It might be best if we did hold off on some of those.
Okay.
Detailed question. We could
So
continue it to.
well, with that, we do have a motion on the table, so I would be willing to withdraw my motion.
Modify it to a continuation.
Yeah, we could modify, or could go.
Just drop
Withdraw
yours
it.
and we'll start.
Yeah, I'll withdraw my motion. That's what,
Does the second withdraw?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so I move to postpone this.
Until when?
Time certain or until we have the questions answered?
I think it might be best if the franchise rep could be here to answer those questions.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, June 3rd, is that the next? If so. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Handle the rest of that. Second, vote.
Oh, I'll second that motion.
And it's moved to the next meeting, is that?
June
Yes.
3rd, yeah. You're gonna have to raise my name. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Motion carries. Umatilla County Health purchase laptops. Hold it. I'm sorry. We have another. Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Umatilla County Health. Yes. Sorry, Joe.
No, no worries.
Trying to get your steps in, that's all.
Yes. Good morning, Joe Kimara, Health Director for Umatilla County Health. What we've got here is we're looking to update 5 of our laptops. There are 2 different styles due to some functionality requirements that some of the positions require. We've got quotes from the IT department to update these 5 along with the operating system that go with those. IT has told me prices are changing quickly, so I've got a quote that was listed, but wanted to try to build a little bit of room in case that changed by the time I come back to them with approval to move forward. Funding for these 5 would come from 2 of our program element funds, both of which had specific costs for computer replacements built into them and approved by OHA for the current cycle. And so I'm anticipating the cost of $9,109 for the 5 of them, but did ask for a little bit of wiggle room in case it's changed by the time we go through the process.
Got it. Wishes of the board?
I know you're looking at me, but mine's not pulling up here.
Mine's not pulling it up either. I was just gonna send Riley.
Oh, there we are.
Did it pull
Nope,
up
it
that time?
didn't pull it up.
I'd make a motion for the approval of pay. Move.
Oh, there we are.
You got it?
I do.
Okay, you can make.
All right. I move to approve the purchase for a quote
I'm getting there.
of $9,119, but not to exceed $9,600 for the purchase of laptops, 5 laptops.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Next item's election purchase bin mailing services.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Good morning.
Top of the morning. You're looking well rested.
Oh, right. It's amazing what energy bars and before you is a payable for pen milling services for the insertion of the envelopes for May 19th election that we just had, and also the printing of the return envelopes in the amount of $8,640.44.
Wishes of the board.
I move to approve payable to Bend Mailing Services
Oh, good.
in the amount of $8,640.44.
I'll second that, but I got a question. What was our total unofficial ballot return rate? What percentage?
Right now, we're sitting at a little over the 30%.
You crawled up out of the basement.
30 point. That number's just gonna go up. We're gonna be balanced with postmark for the next 7 days or 6 days now. And then also taking care of any signature challenged issues.
Thank you.
Just as a point, yesterday, we received approximately 30% of the ballots that for this election.
Wow.
11 again.
I think that's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the more ballots that are returned, the better bang for our buck we get out of this deal.
Correct.
Yeah. I would just hope that people mailed in more ballots, because where are we roughly in the ranking of returned ballots across the state?
The last I looked were 35 out of 36.
35 out of 36. Imagine my surprise.
We moved up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Since
told
we are
Cindy,
about
congratulations.
Since we are about 30%, statewide on the average is 33.8. So I would say we're in the ballpark.
I'd rather be above average.
Mm.
field.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Thank you to you and your staff, Steve. I know you guys worked long hours yesterday and the days leading up to the election, so well done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Commissioners,
Thank you, Stephen. Next item on the is fair entertainment. Boy, we're getting close too.
Yeah, it is.
So this is a purchase that's essentially already in place. We're asking the board to approve the payable and ratify it for $14,000 and $14,040. It's for the marketing of the Eli Young Band.
There is one more.
For the Umatilla County Fair in 2026.
What was this, Dale Ron? Wishes of the board.
I'd move approval to approve the payable to Genesis Marketing LLC in the amount of $14,040.
Second.
Made a motion and a second. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is public contracting ordinance, and do you want to do that one?
I can give a brief blurb.
First of all, I want to say thank you for all your work on this.
Yep, no problem. This has come before the board previously. This should be the second reading of it. It's an update to Chapter 36 of our Umatilla County Code. The public contract, this is Chapter 38, but I believe it should be 36. It essentially updates it to be a little bit more workable and more modern with the procurements of the county.
Thank you. I'll go out of our regular scheduled Board of Commissioners meeting into a public hearing. So as of now, we are in a public hearing, and I will take any public testimony in favor of ordinance 2026-4. Seeing none online or in the room, I'll take in public testimony opposing. Seeing none, hearing none, take testimony neutral. Seeing none, hearing none. Any comments from the commissioners before we come out of public hearing? I'm out of public hearing and back to the regular scheduled Board of Commissioners meeting and wishes of the board.
Move to adopt ordinance number 2026-04.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And again, motion passes, but I do want to thank Nick for all his work on this. It definitely advances Umatilla County for sure. Next item on the agenda is the per diem policy.
So I apologize for the confusion on the naming. This was brought before the board last time as the per diem policy. The technical name underneath our policy is the travel reimbursement policy. It does include the per diem rates. It's the same policy, just a little bit of a semantic naming there. But it's before the board to update the per diem rates that have been updated for some time. Other than that, it's an update to the travel reimbursement.
Which is the board?
I move to adopt the proposed travel reimbursement policy to take effect on July 1st, 2026. Oh, sure. Sorry.
Sorry.
Hey, Joe.
you can help. And I don't know if it's matters, I guess, but when I was looking at what was posted, it looked like there was a sentence missing in the very last portion of the policy. I think was supposed to say if the policy is not completed, that the reimbursement will not be provided. But the last half of the sentence kind of just stops. Very last, right before the signature. Oh, right there. So if an employee fails to follow the required process and obtain appropriate approvals, reimbursement of travel expenses.
That should follow with may be denied.
Okay.
That's the last one.
Can I get a modification to the motion to address that? Who made the motion?
Commissioner Coons.
Oh, of course, me. Okay, I move to
No,
adopt.
you got, let's modify,
I need to amend the motion.
you need to amend the motion.
Okay. To add the sentence at the end.
Yep. We gotta
Okay.
get- Hold on.
I move to amend my original.
Hold on. You gotta get approval from the second before you can amend the motion. Do you approve?
I approve.
Okay. Go ahead.
I move to. Okay, I move to amend the emotion, the original motion, to include, if an employee fails to follow the required processes and obtain appropriate approvals, reimbursement of travel expenses may be denied.
I will second that.
Thank you. Got a motion, and thank you, Joe. Thank you.
And if I may, I had one question and clarification.
Oh, sure.
Higher up in the policy, it refers to overnight or 260 miles. I'm just making sure I'm reading it correctly. Is that intended to be 260 miles one direction or 260 miles round trip? I'm not advocating one way or the other.
I believe it's round trip, is the way I read it. Is that right, Nick?
I'm not sure how it's been implemented in the past, but the sense that I would get to read the policies that it would be.
Round, yeah, I've always interpreted it as round trip. Thank you. You got it. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Nick.
Or you got to vote on the amendment that
We already did all that. So,
John seconded.
Yep.
Vote on the amendment to the main motion and go back to the original motion.
Mhm.
I think you can bypass that just by changing with the second, but I'll do that. Take a vote right now on the
On the amendment, okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Back to the main motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Thank you.
You good,
Now
Nick?
you're gonna make me get my parliamentary book out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Final item on the agenda today is Columbia Development Authority in the amount of $40,157.97. Wishes of the board?
I think Nick was gonna say something about
Oh,
Standing before the board to bring the payable to Columbia Development Authority. And for
I would move to approve the payable to the Columbia Development Authority in the amount of $40,157.97.
Second.
comments? Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You. Meeting adjourned.